Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DX Strike, and today we're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 and my opinion and my thoughts on the game overall. Lately, basically, Kingdom Hearts been taking the internet by storm. Everybody's been dropping their opinions, gameplay videos, and even before the game came out, leaks and everything like that. So everything is really controversial with this game right now, centered on Kingdom Hearts 3. And I finally beat the game last night. I was up pretty late and when I beat the game, and I guess I like the game. I like the game a lot. I'm gonna just start off with the pros of the game and what I really thought stood out with the game and how I felt about it, and then I'll go into the bad parts of the things I didn't like about the game. So like I said, we're starting off with the good things. And basically, I'm gonna just start off with the visuals. The visuals were stunning. They were really amazing. In my opinion, it's one of the best PS4 games I ever played or ever seen, whatever. And especially if you have a Pro, if you have a PS4 Pro. Regular PS4, the frames kind of dip, and in some spots it looks kind of grainy, whatever. But even then, the game still looks good then. But you're not really getting the full experience. You're pretty much gypping yourself if you don't have the PS4 Pro. And the whole time just looking at this, especially when the game starts off and you're like, and basically like in every Kingdom Hearts game, when it starts off, it has the little glass murals that you're standing on with Sora in the middle, and you can just see like the glass shining and how colorful and vibrant the glass was. And then especially when you go into basically, I guess, like a preview of the final world that you get into, like basically at the end of the game, and you can see like the sky, and then the floor has a nice reflection. You can see Sora in the reflection, and it's pretty dope. And then the skies was clear, the clouds, it was just a really very vibrant and nice looking game. And also, okay, we're gonna move into basically the mechanics of the game. I thought the fighting mechanics is pretty much there with Kingdom Hearts. The essence of Kingdom Hearts is there. The mechanics are pretty much awesome. Like, everything is so flashy. The combos is so fluent. There's a lot of options as far as combos. It's very fast paced. The floating is not as bad as the other ones. It's just really dope. There's so many options you can take as far as your combat, and it's just, as far as showing off, it's really good. I loved it. The combat was very fun. It also kept me wondering like what keyblade were able to do what and stuff like that, and the abilities each keyblade did was pretty awesome. They were pretty good. Actually, I liked all the keyblades in this game. Like the first Kingdom Hearts, I had a few select keyblades that I liked. The second one was pretty much the same thing, and pretty much everything else with the other Kingdom Hearts games. But this one, I liked every last keyblade except for probably like one or two. But for the most part, almost basically all the keyblades I really liked. The abilities were very useful, were very flashy, and I thought they were really awesome. And then also moving into the attractions were pretty cool. They were very beautiful too, especially like with the merry-go-round, the teacup, the boat, and was it the blaster ship, basically the Buzz Lightyear blaster ship. Those were pretty cool too. And then moving on into pretty much the design of the characters never fails. Kingdom Hearts always had good designs when it came to characters, especially like when you get to the end and you see Xehanort, does his thing with the armor and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. And what else? I think the worlds were pretty cool. I like how open they were. I like how they were designed. I like how they basically when Sora and them go into the worlds, like just like the previous ones, they get their costumes. And how they fit more into the worlds this time, especially like the Pirates of the Caribbean. They actually made Sora and Goofy and them have pirate costumes, and they didn't look like cartoon characters just thrown into the world like on Kingdom Hearts 2. everybody else was like dusty and dingy and dark, and Sora and them were like bright and vibrant, and they looked like they just didn't belong in there. But in this one, they did a really good job. They made Sora, Goofy, and Donald pretty much look dingy and dirty and dark. And honestly, I think that world was the best looking world in the game, was Pirates of the Caribbean. From the water down to the boats to the characters and then to the monsters in there, and then just like the town. It just that whole world was just awesome. It looked really dope as far as the looks. And then we're gonna move into, I liked it, the whole aspect of basically how you get to level up your Keyblades. And pretty much on this one now, when you get, you know, your defense, you know, your basically accessories, when you get your defense accessories and attack accessories and stuff like that, they actually come with, you know, attacks and abilities and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. It reminded me of Tales of Vesperia, where you get certain weapons, and except on that game you had to level them up, and once you level them up, you get those abilities that come with the sword once you level them up. I thought that was pretty cool, and it pretty much gave the player a chance. Like, say if like you ran into a Keyblade that was like pretty much ugly, and it just looked really horrible and corny, and instead of you just, you know, having to stick with that Keyblade because it was strong and it had good attributes, you was able to put that aside and basically choose the Keyblades that you want, and basically just level it up and make your Keyblade stronger, and you can stick with that Keyblade, you know, of your preference. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I also like the fact that they added pretty much what every RPG usually has, like the cooking system. I think the Tales series is more so known for the cooking system. Basically, when you cook food, they give you like attributes and traits that help you during battle or after battle. Like, for instance, it'll boost your health for this amount of time, boost your defense, boost your attack, boost your like focus power, your resistance and stuff like that for all your teammates. And I thought it was pretty dope that they added it in this Kingdom Hearts game, which it probably would have been really more useful in the previous Kingdom Hearts games, but I'll get into that later. And I thought that was pretty cool how they implemented Ratatouille, you know, the mouse from Ratatouille, from, you know, that series into the game, because that's like the only way you could implement him was something with cooking. So I thought that was pretty cool. The gummy ship, I like how they made the gummy ship open world, and like you can literally just fly around through like this open space, and you can literally see like a big model of the planet you're about to go into. And also like the gummy ship had like a little battle system mechanic in itself, where you can fly around. You don't automatically fight, you just shoot like rocks and like different openings of like chests and stuff like that floating in the space. And then you see like these little enemies flying around with like, you know, a level over their head. Like, you have star 1, star 2, star 3, star 4, etc. And I thought that was pretty cool, especially how how much detail was put into the world with the gummy ships and stuff like that. Only thing was pretty much wasn't that detailed is basically the gummy ship itself, because that's just the design they went for. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now on to the things I didn't like about Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, this is really hard, is because I love the franchise. I love Kingdom Hearts. I played every last one. I beat every single one except for Recoded and the recent Kingdom Hearts cell phone app, because I wasn't interested in them too. And when Recoded came out, pretty much I didn't have a cell phone because I was like really young, whatever, and I didn't really care for it anyway. But basically, I'm gonna just start off with the worlds. Yes, the worlds are very, very big. They're like open fields, but they're not super expansive. And the fact that they were really big, bigger than other Kingdom Hearts games, there's literally nothing to do in those fields. Literally nothing. You have the one thing, when you have open spaces like that, the best thing for you to do is to have as much things as possible to do in those worlds. know what I mean? Like it's you have to have a lot of stuff done to be able to do in those worlds, because other than that, you're just seeing beautiful things and you're just running through it, just a spacious room doing nothing, just fighting enemies. And I really felt like they advertised, it was like false advertisement, especially like when they showed the Tangle world where they had like the little village and the people in it, and it made me think that that village was gonna be like really big, and it was gonna be people that I can talk to, and they'll give me like little missions within, that part of the section, whatever, and I had to go back out into the forest and do little things and stuff like that, just to make the board more intriguing and a little bit longer. And also, I feel as though that like when you're walking through the world, it still feels like there's a restriction around. It still feels like there's a restriction around you. And I mean, they tried with Tangled where they had Rapunzel, run into the water, and she never, which I thought was cool, the whole character aspect and how the characters interacted on that world. How she will run into the water and she, be like, wow, this is cool and stuff like that. And then as Sora, you can run into the water and you can splash the water on her and basically interact with her. Then it had the little birds fly around, and she was like, well, I hear birds and they're singing, like, can you bring them to me? And you can run around and bring the birds to her and stuff like that, and basically intrigue her and stuff like that. I wish they had a little bit more of that, and like, more other aspects to make that world stand out a lot more. And also on Toy Story, it was wishful thinking, but how they had, it was just an excuse for the story where Xehanort made another version of the Toy Story world to take all the humans out. So when you walk around in the city, or not the city, but the town, and in the store, you don't see like big people's feet walking around you just like the movies. I was expecting that, or seeing like the cars drive through the street and the cars go over your body. And then also in Big Hero 6, which is one of my favorite worlds, but it was also a big letdown, is because the city is beautiful. The city is like one of the biggest worlds on the game, and there's literally nobody walking around. They had another excuse that, there's monsters, terrorizing the city. This is a state of emergency. Everybody get in the house, and obviously the monsters were pretty much the Heartless, and so that was an excuse to, not have anybody walking around and make the world bigger and more bigger, than it would seem more full than what it was. And it was only like one section when you first started the game, well, not the game, but first started the world, where the cars would drive around and you could see them like slowly driving past you and stuff like that, which I thought was cool. I was hoping to see more of that, but my wishes got turned down. So on to another aspect: no Final Fantasy characters whatsoever. The only reference to Final Fantasy was Auron, Cloud, and I think they showed Zack from Birth by Sleep, and they showed the little stones when you first started the Hercules stage. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's some hope, because in any of the promotions, the advertisement, or trailers, they never mentioned anything, especially the interviews. They never mentioned anything about there being any Final Fantasy characters in the game, which got me pretty scared. Because the main purpose of this series was to collab with Disney and Square Enix, and every Kingdom Hearts game that came out, I was always excited of what new Final Fantasy character I was going to see. Was it going to be, especially in this one, I was expecting to see Noctis, I was expecting to see Lightning, or Snow, or any Final Fantasy character you can name, especially like the Warrior Light, and basically people they mentioned or have in Final Fantasy Dissidia, which I like that they had a reference in Toy Story with the Dissidia NT advertisement, and they had Bahamut, and they had basically a poster of the Final Fantasy characters on the poster and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. And was it after that? I really felt as though the story was spread out like crazy. The story was so spread out like crazy. Like, I understand, like the beginning, I understand most Kingdom Hearts games when they start off, it's pretty much really nothing going on. It's like a slow pace as far as the story. But the action in this one actually picked up pretty fast on this Kingdom Hearts. But the story is pretty spread out, and they mentioned the black box that you've seen in the little CGI movie on the Kingdom Hearts 2.0, HD game, and I had forgot about that until the game came out, and I'm like, okay, and this is going to be basically the big plot. And the whole time I'm wondering, like, yo, what's in the box? Like, what's in the box? Like, I was wondering, wait, what's in the box? Like, what is, Xehanort planning? And like, how is this going to come to fruition? Like, what is this going to do? Like, is this going to lead into another Kingdom Hearts, or is this really like going to F everybody over? And then they only spoke of the box at least 3 or 2 times in the game, and then they implemented Pete and Maleficent in the game, and you only seen them like 2 or 3 times. It made you think, like, what was the purpose of putting them in the game? They really had no purpose in the game. All they did was provide useless mystery that never got answered later on in the game. And then on top of that, moving into, I'm gonna go back to the story in a minute, but moving into where the aspects of you was able to play with Riku twice in the game, and he was only played with Aqua once in the game. Now, they talked about in interviews and stuff like that, and it was been leaked or rumored, whatever, that you were able to play as Riku as well as Sora. And just to play the game, and you only played with Riku twice. You only played with Riku twice, and there was really no point to it. And I felt as though, like, all the other games, you were able to be Riku as much as you can be Sora. And I thought it was pretty dope how they made their stories intertwined, and they both had importance. And it brought out the basically the end game of the story. And this one, it was nothing. Like, it was really nothing. And I think having Riku on side of Sora would have made the game a lot longer. It would have made the game a lot longer. This was one of the shortest Kingdom Hearts games I ever played. The shortest Kingdom Hearts game I ever played. And then, on top of that, basically, back to the story, the Disney worlds, basically, they felt like they had no purpose. It felt like they were just like obligated to just have those worlds in the game based off of the purpose of the collaboration. Other than that, like, those worlds, if they really didn't tie into the story like that. Every once in a while, you'll have the organization member pop up, like Zigbar, Larxene, Marluxia, Saïx, and stuff like that. Have them show up, and they'll say like some, and Sora even mentioned it in the game, like when Larxene showed up, and he was like, basically like, wait a minute, so you're telling me this is the part where you show up, you say some pointless riddle, and you walk off, and I'm basically sitting there confused. That's basically what they were doing the whole time they showed up, and they just leave a boss there. You know what I mean? And you fight the boss, and after that, you're still left in mystery, because after you beat the boss, nothing happens that basically connected to what the organization member had said during that time before that he or she left. So I thought that, oh, all right, that was kind of, messed up. And what could have made the story what could have fixed the story a lot better, the story wasn't bad, it's just that it was certain things were implemented wrong. And the box alone, which is the one detail in the story that could have made each and every organization member, every Disney character in every Disney world important, is to center everything around that box. Because other than that, most of the parts were pretty much empty and had their own storylines, which is copy and paste of this the Disney arcs and from the movies, which every Kingdom Hearts pretty much did that. And I like how they tied what happened in those movies with their story of Kingdom Hearts overall, and they always did that. But this one, it was literally just the story, and the only thing implemented to those worlds were basically the monsters and that little speck of story with the organization. Other than that, that's it. And I also noticed on each board, there was only 2 boards you fought iconic Disney villains, and that was Pirates of the Caribbean, and that was Hercules, where you fought the Titans. And I think the main thing that made these stories work for Kingdom Hearts was the Disney villains. The Disney villains were good tie-ins to the story, because each villain was used as an instrument to waste basically what was going on in the story. Like the old one, the first one, each of the Kingdom Hearts villains were trying to get their hands on any of the 7 princesses of light. and they all were aware and had their own agendas of what was going on with the Heartless and what these 7 Princesses of Light could do, basically. And then some of the villains had their own agenda within the overall villain team. You know what I mean? And that also like stretched the story and made the story a lot interesting. On this one, they only had those 2 iconic villains, and then they had the rest were just organization people that you didn't even fight each time you ran into them. You fought them at the end, and it tied into nothing. And I think that's what also kind of hurted the story. And all right, moving on to basically, I thought when you upgrade your Keyblades, I thought they were useful but useless at the same time, because after a while I just stopped upgrading them, and I upgraded my Keyblades pretty early and some at the end, and the monsters were so easy and the bosses, everybody was pushovers to where it made those mechanics useless. And then on top of that, I had the attractions, and I had like the different special abilities my Keyblades had, and most of them were OP. Like the most OP Keyblades in the game was the Pirates of the Caribbean Keyblade, the Toy Story Keyblade, and the Monsters Inc. Keyblade, and also the Frozen Keyblade. They were the 4 Keyblades that were so OP with their abilities. And what would have made those abilities more appealing and useful was that if the difficulty were a lot harder or just as hard as the old ones, and it would have made them they would have made those abilities basically like lifesavers, like, yo, I'm about to die and stuff like that. And it's so many, and there's a whole lot more enemies you fight on this one. You literally fight groups of enemies on this one more than any of the other Kingdom Hearts. And it would have made those abilities a lot more, useful and lifesavery, is because like, yo, I'm getting my behind kicked. These monsters are freaking hard, and right now, like, I'm trying to level grind, or I didn't get the chance to level grind, and I really need to be saved because I'm about to die, especially sometimes when Donald don't heal you or Goofy doesn't come through, which Goofy more so comes through than Donald. That's just a known fact. But Donald started helping me. His AI started getting better towards like near the end, and it would have made those mechanics a lot more useful. But other than that, all it did was just make you feel like you was the boss of the game, and basically they were the heroes struggling fighting you. Like I ran through those bosses in one try. I went through all those bosses in one try, literally. And it kind of disappointed me on that aspect. And then even though I thought the cooking aspect with Ratatouille was a good addition, I really didn't need it. All it was going to do was make me more OP than what I already was. I really didn't need that mechanic at all because how easy the game was. And the main reason why Kingdom Hearts was always a long game, I mean, not long, it was not super long, but it felt long, is because I felt the need to level grind. I felt that I always ran into a part where I struggled and I couldn't move unless I did a certain thing within the game. And the monsters all had their own patterns. They all had their own types of difficulty, and that also stretched the game out. And then on top of that, there was no backtracking to where, like on Kingdom Hearts 2, once I leave the stage, I beat the stage the first time, I leave, and I couldn't basically move on into another stage until I did something else. Like for instance, the whole the Pirates of the Caribbean stage, I think you had to get a certain magic in order to move on within that stage. And the same thing with Little Mermaid. You had to get Thunder or Thundaga, whatever, and come back to the stage and light I can't remember, a stone, whatever, on electricity in order to move on into the game. And then on top of that, after you beat the stage, it was another keyhole within that world that you had to come back and basically close up. And when you came back, it was a different section of that board that you had to explore. And you fought the boss again with a different pattern, or you fought a new boss the second time around, or the third time around. And that's what made that game, the length that it was. On this one, once you beat the game, once you beat the worlds, that's it. There's no going back. That's it. Once you go back to the worlds, there's nothing to do. It's pretty much empty, whatever. And it was just bland. and then now getting into pretty much the end. Once you get to the end, everything's just thrown at you. Like somebody just took a bucket, flipped it over, and all this water just started pouring on you at the same time. And that's when the story starts to really shine at the end. And that's not how, stories are supposed to work. And the thing is, all right, this Kingdom Hearts, it did clarify everything. It wasn't confusing. Like I think the main reason why a lot of people find Kingdom Hearts hard to understand is the wording and how they formulate things. They try to make things sound so intelligent and intricate and critical, and it caps your head up. And then once you figure it out, it's like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean? Like it was deep, but it didn't have to be worded like that. You know what I mean? And I feel like, all right, I got the whole story and everything, and I got what the whole purpose was. And I wish it was kind of like that through the whole game, because I liked the story. But the ending for me, it was a good thing and a letdown at the same time. Because once you get to the end, I like when you fight, you had to help not Roxas, you had to help Mickey, you had to help Kairi, you had to help basically all the different characters, all the seven Warriors of Light, basically, 7 Keyblade wielders, and you had to help them. And each time you helped them, and you fought each character that connected to that character from different parts of the Kingdom Hearts story. Like, so when you fought with Lee, or basically Axel, you also had to fight Xion, and you had to fight Saix, and then they had a connection with each other based off of the DS game. I always get this title on Kingdom Hearts 58 in 2 days. And when you had the Birth by Sleep aspect, you had to fight basically the Terra Xehanort. You had to fight Terra Xehanort, and you had to help Ventus and Aqua. And then also when you ran into, I forgot his name, but basically you had to fight Marluxia, Larxene, and Luxord. You had to fight them, and that also basically tied into each series of the game. I liked that, and each dialogue they had between each other, it was heartfelt, it was deep and stuff like that. And especially when I like how dark it got when you thought basically everybody was going to die. Like everybody basically did die. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And Sora basically had enough. Like, he fell to his knees, especially once his woman died, Kairi. And he fell to his knees like, yo, like, I'm tired of this. Like, what can I do? Like, my friends are gone, which my friends were my power. Yeah, I have this Keyblade. I was chosen to use it, but it's nothing I can do without my friends, whatever. And I thought that was messed up. Like, it was a lot of times at the end where I felt like I was about to get all teary-eyed and stuff. And when Sora brought everybody back, it was just dope. When Terra showed up in the armor, and that Joe was hot. I liked that Joe. And then Roxas showed up, and then his theme song came. Yo, I lost my mind, yo. Yo, it was really cool. Like, I really lost my mind on that. And all these different people that you didn't, even though, like, once you played the part at the end, and you could start to see where the story was going, and it was like 1 or 2 parts where you didn't know what was going to happen. For the most part, you knew it was going to happen, but it was just so dope, and you just couldn't believe it at the same time. And then when Roxas showed up to save Axel and Xion, and that show was really cool, man. Like, I was like, yo, my man's got his body back. He got his body back. Like, because I always felt bad for him at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, because, like, yo, he thought he was a real person just for it to find out everything he knew was fake, and all that was just stripped away from him. And now, like, he got his life back. And then I think Terra had the worst ending out of everybody. He lost his body. Like, he literally lost his body to darkness. It was kind of like a Star Wars, thing with Darth Vader and all that, but that's just another story. But to see him finally get his body back, it was dope. Now, when it came to Xehanort felt like he been planning this for so long. This dude was able to play, he was plotting everything out, going through time, getting different basically images of himself he went back and got the Riku when he was possessed by Ansem. Ansem was pretty much with Xehanort. He got the Terra Xehanort. He got the regular Ansem. He got Xemnas, which is basically another form of the Terra Xehanort, basically, but just a nobody version. And he even got his kid version of him, the kid version of himself back when he was like a doctor for Ansem the Wise, and well, not a doctor, but a professor for Ansem the Wise. And he went through all this just to when at the end, like, he felt like he was so stuck in his ways, he was so evil that it was no point of return with this dude. Like, you, at the end of the day, you would have to kill this dude, because every move he made at the end, this dude, like, I was getting angry. I'm like, yo, I'm tired of this dude. I feel like I was with Sora from the beginning, which I was, till the end, and I'm like, yo, I'm tired of this dude. This dude has to go. Just for which they don't explain, where Master Ericus was his light, or his heart was inside Terra, and all he comes out and does is say, look, it's over, you have to stop this. Puts his hand on his shoulder, and then Xehanort's hurt, and I thought he was about to do some slimy stuff. I said, my bad, y'all, but I thought he was about to do some slimy stuff and pretty much say, like, act like he was, going along with everything, and then just turn around and do something really crazy, and then Sora's gonna have to, like, slice through him or something, or shoot a beam of light through his chest or something, like, it just end him right there. But no, it was pretty much like it ended sort of like a Disney movie. Like, he put his hand on his shoulder and said, look, this over. Like, all that pain you felt, this and like that, and all this darkness you did, like, basically, I forgive you, but all this has to end. And he pretty much was like, you know what, Ericus, you were right. I mean, you're right. You know what I mean? And then they show you their past, which was cool. Show you their past. It showed everybody bonding with each other. I thought that was cool. And then he just dissipated. Like, he died. He died he died in a way that I didn't want him to die. He died in a way he just dissipated to light. And basically that was it. And I kind of didn't like that. Just before that even happened, which I thought Kairi had died, but no, she just, they don't explain what really happened to her. They just said she disappeared. And I really feel like that was an aspect that was used so many times throughout the series, where Sora and Kairi were always torn apart every time they got close to each other. And just for all this is to be the end of the Xehanort saga, and they couldn't find something else to keep Sora moving, and this was the excuse they used, was for Sora to disappear. I mean, not Sora, Kairi to disappear. And Sora just basically said, like, yo, like, I have to find her. Like, I'm tired of basically me and my woman coming together, and she gets taken away from me every time. And Goofy and them wanted to go with him and stuff like that, but he was like, no, I'm gonna do this on my own. And I feel as though that's either a way to basically give Sora a game to himself, where he meets new people and have a new Disney partners, or it gets rid of Sora. He becomes like not a background character, but a character that's a part of the story, but he's not the main character. And you could pretty much use Roxas, Terra, Aqua, or any of the other 7 Keyblade wielders. Other 6 Keyblade wielders. Well, at the end it was more than 6, because because Xion came back, Roxas came back, and Ventus and all them came back. So it was pretty much more than 6 or 7. But yeah, you can make the game about them, or you can basically make a new Keyblade wielder and make it about him, and then have you run into Sora and stuff like that, and he be like a part of the story, making him a lot older, have him like travel to find Kairi for so long. But that's just another story. I'll probably make a video on my ideas for Kingdom Hearts 4, or whatever they're going to call it. But at the end though, it was nice how they showed all the people who are organization members come back and be their human forms, and basically living normal lives now. Sykes is with Axel and Roxas and Hayner, Pence, Olette, and Xion is back. They brought Naminé back, which I think Naminé is pretty much, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I think Naminé is pretty much going to be Riku's Kairi, because he had a connection with her in Kingdom Hearts 2 and Chains of Memories. So I think something's going to develop there, even though it might seem kind of sick, because he still has like the form of, a little girl. But we don't know her age though. But still, like, I thought that was cool. And then what else? after that, the end credits is what really got me. The end credits is what really saved me from saying like the ending was bleh or trash, whatever. Cause when they showed basically the one of the first couple Keyblade wielders from back when the war had started. When you watch the movie on the Kingdom Hearts 2.0, they showed them return. It was like, yo, basically like, yo, what did you call us for? And the guy that you seen on the 2.0 movie, you know, he had the organization hood on and stuff like that. And I don't know why I didn't catch it. When I watched it with the guy's voice, because you never seen his face, but the guy's voice. And then he took his hoodie off, and it was Zigbar. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we just we basically technically killed this dude like 3 times, and this dude is back. And come to find out, this dude was he was the real person that set all of this up, like really. And then on top of that, they mentioned the black box again, and that was like, yo. And then they have the black box still. They finally found the black box. Now I'm still stuck with like, yo, like I want to know what's in it. And then they didn't even show the kid. They still didn't show the kid that Zigbar was talking to, the other organization member that he just recruited, the kid that had the hoodie on from the movie on 2.0. And they still didn't show him, so that's still a mystery. And that was like, yo, he brought them back, and now I feel like they're going to be the new villains, because somehow he's going to be able to like cap their heads up again, just like he did in the movie. And the way he did that in the movie was like, he literally told them, they didn't even find it suspicious. He literally told them the roles they were going to play, and most of them were denying that role, and they still subconsciously played it out. Like, he basically tricked them into playing that role. So what makes you think he can't do it again in this one? And I think Sora and them are going to come in contact with them again and fight them, because like it's still mystery behind them characters. And I think those characters are the mystery that they show. I think those characters are really interesting, and I want to see what they look like. I want to see their faces. And like, I feel like the whole time Zigbar has been playing with us the whole time. Like, this dude is actually like godlike strong, like super godlike strong, and we just been beating him because he let us beat him. So basically, this pretty much just set up Kingdom Hearts 4 as far as like who's gonna tie into it or where this is going. Everybody is pretty much in the dark, and I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen as far as that story. But back to where, oh yeah, another aspect where Terra showed up in the armor. Yeah, this is another part it was dope, but I didn't like at the same time. Terra showed up in the armor, saved Sora and them. Then he fought Terra Xehanort, disappeared. And then they were about to fight Terra Xehanort again. Like he was going to help, Sora's going to help Aqua and Ventus. And Terra Xehanort was fighting them, and then out of nowhere, the Kingdom Hearts, the Heartless that shows up behind Ansem when he says, "Turn your heart to darkness." Like, when he shows up, and that Diesel Heartless shows up behind him, pops up, and then blocks Terra Xehanort's attack. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is this dude? And basically Sora and them was thinking the same thing, and it's like, yo, why is this dude showing up and helping us? And all of a sudden, he takes the bandages off his mouth and start talking, like trying to talk. And I'm like, yo, like, what? Like, why is this dude talking? And come to find out, it was Terra. So I'm like, wait a minute, how the heck? How he go from having his armor, being in the armor and saving him, to being that Heartless? I'm like, what? That didn't make any sense. There was no explanation behind it. It just happened. And then he basically gets his body back by transferring that heart that Heartless had and put it inside, basically Terra, extracted out himself and put it inside Terra, his body basically, and then he got his body back. I was like, what? I was confused like crazy on that. I'm like, what? And I kind of threw it to the side, cause like it was dope because he showed up and saved him. But I thought about it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of random, because if he was fighting them, why wasn't he still fighting them when we got there? Like, why he just disappeared and he just showed back up as that Diesel Heartless? And it kind of made me wondering, was he not only in the armor, but was he that Diesel Heartless the whole time you were fighting Ansem in part 1? And on Dream Drop Distance, like it kind of confused me. But I like the game, and just because you like a game doesn't mean you have to be, you have to defend it and not say things that's wrong about it because you feel less than a fan. The best fans are the people who see what's wrong with the things they like. And although I love the game, it was fun. The essence of Kingdom Hearts was still there. It was still a lot of things was missing. It was really short, and it was a lot of emptiness in the game. Like, it was a lot of stuff missing in the game. And I also felt as though it was more so probably because not only they took so long in this game, they also had to spread their forces apart, their development forces apart from to 15 for Kingdom Hearts 3 and now the Final Fantasy 7 remake. And it kind of got me suspicious about what's going to happen with Final Fantasy 7 remake because of that. I mean, it's still a good chance it's going to be like really, really good and really long. Well, I no doubt it's going to be good, but as far as the length of the game, so like I don't know. But this is my thoughts on it. I liked the game. It was just a lot of things wrong with it, just as well as a lot of good things going wrong. I mean, good with it. And if I had to give it a rating, I would give it like an 8 or 8.5. It's pretty normal. Like that's pretty much it. But let me know what you guys think of my opinion. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What is your view on the whole game? Did you think it was trash? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was just mind blowing? Like, I just want to know. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And I'm DX Strike, and strike out.